is Ryan Cameron Uncensored in the studio with us right now. You know, Black Girl Magic. Keisha Lance Bottoms. Ladies and gentlemen.
One time.
Oh, yeah.
Thank you very much.
How you doing? Why you put me last on the list for the announcements?
Because, Ryan, I told you my mama said somebody called her and said that you were talking about me on the radio.
Yeah.
That's not why I put you last, though.
But and then me and your mama. But see,
no,
my grandmama always told me, don't say something once you can't say twice. So when you was like, Mama, tell him what you said, I was like, did I say? And there's somebody who heard who was listening at the radio and not to the radio, because like I told you, I said, I believe that when you said you were kind of teasing whether or not you were going to run, you were kind of going to see what the reaction of people were. I'm sure before you take on something this big, you have to have focus groups and all kinds of people that are telling you if it's a viable candidacy. Is that true or not?
Well, no. And so just to fill everybody in, when I saw Ryan recently,
gave me
I
the
was
hand.
with my mama. I said, Mama, there's Ryan. You said he was talking about me. And so we had a good laugh. But no, that's really, it's not why. I did a bunch of interviews for the launch, Ryan. And as you know, I don't do things lightly. A lot of prayer, a lot of consideration.
Yeah.
And the great thing is people still like me, thankfully, across the state. That's a good thing. What the best political advice I received was you got to always be able to go back home.
Right.
So I've been very grateful in that, after my term as mayor, I've been able to go back home. But on top of that, really for me, November was a turning point, like I know it was for so many other people, just in thinking about what this moment called for after the November election and what is it that I could do in this season? How could I offer myself as service? And here I am as a candidate for governor.
Yeah. So how did your family take that? Because you went from being in public office, then you went to the White House, and then you left the White House, and they're like, oh, Mommy's home forever.
Well, I will not say which one said what.
Lance. What did Lance say?
Don't you have somewhere to be?
Oh,
Wow.
no.
A lot of me around the house with an opinion. And I just said, I'll say 5 of the 6 people in my house are very supportive. The one who was not
Lance.
No, actually, not Lance.
It wasn't Lance?
No.
Okay.
The one who'll be in college is like, I'll be in college. You do what you want to do. But I mean, I wouldn't be doing this if my family weren't on board. I've got 3 teenagers and Lance. So, a lot of opinions. It's like an in-house focus group at all times.
Okay. We got more with Keisha Lance Bottoms when we come back. It's Ryan Cameron Uncensored. It is Ryan Cameron Uncensored. Magic 107.5, 97.5, the real sound of Atlanta. Former Mayor Keisha Lance Bottoms is in the studio.
One time.
Don't you call people mayor forever?
Yeah.
Like when I see you, I can't say former mayor, because we were just at the airport when they did the 100th celebration, and all of y'all were there at the same time.
It's really funny when we're together and somebody says mayor and everybody
Turns around and looks.
Because once a mayor, always
Right.
mayor. Yeah, I still call Mayor Campbell, Mayor Campbell. I mean, you get to keep the title for life.
Yes.
So, but you can call me Keisha.
You know what? I think I'll do that.
Okay.
Well, now
thank
you're
you.
going for another title. So
Now-
why governor?
Well, like I said, I woke up in November wondering what this moment called for me. I know we've all had our moments of reflection, and with each day we're asking ourselves, what can I do? For some of us, it's turning off the television, turning off the radio, protecting our peace, and that's perfectly understandable. And for others of us, it's jumping right back into the lion's den, and that's what I'm doing right now. I know Georgians want somebody who's going to fight for them. And our issues, no matter where we are, whether we are in urban communities like Metro Atlanta or across the state, we all want the same things. We want safe communities. We want our kids to be able to go to great public schools. We want access to jobs, and we want to be able to put food on the table and gas in our tank. We want to be able to get to a hospital if we are sick. All of those things matter to us across the state, and those are the things that I'm really excited to go and fight for.
So with the recent presidential election that went down and the way it went down with the results, do you think people now are on the mindset of let's get this one right in Georgia with the gubernatorial race? Because once everything is said and done, people feel like they didn't get it right. They made a mistake with the voting that they did. So let's put this black woman in. Let's put this woman here in Georgia who knows how we all feel. Because remember, a lot of people are like, well, if she's black, she should win. It's Georgia, but it's very, the city of Atlanta, and then there's Valdosta and Macon and all that other stuff. So how do you win that?
Yeah, and I'm going to disagree with you on that. I think people want the person who's going to represent their interests. It's the reason, we cross lines, whether they're racial lines, whether some people cross political lines. There are a lot of people who identify as independents in the state. People want somebody who they believe is going to represent them well. And the beauty of the democracy that we have today, although we're watching it get eroded day by day. We saw the senator being, tackled and handcuffed today. But the beauty of it is we get to show up and vote again. Whether it's, and usually there's something on the ballot every year. We got races on the ballot in a week or so in this state. So there's something on the ballot every year. You get a chance to do it again. And I believe that people are going to vote in their best interest. Right. And the best interest for people in Georgia, people are talking about the economy. They're concerned about expansion of Medicaid. They're concerned that there are hospitals that aren't open in their communities. They are concerned about the teacher shortage. That's why I'm proposing that we eliminate state income taxes for teachers. That's why I want to focus on expanding Medicaid. They are concerned about their small businesses. 45% of the people in this state work for small businesses. Those are the things that people are concerned about.
Right.
And those are the things that I'm going to fight for. People are going to vote in their best interest.
Okay, so I want to give you grace, and I want you to answer this to the best of your ability.
Yes.
You were in office during a global pandemic.
Yes.
You were in office through one of the most polarizing events with the happenings of George Floyd.
Yes.
When you decided to step away, did all of those things play a part in that? And why, other than being on your knees and being prayerful, did you decide to get back in the political space? Because no one is going to be able to say they were able to do those type of events again, because it was something that took over not the country, but the whole entire world.
Ryan, I've said this repeatedly. For everything, there is a season. And for me, at the end or coming towards the end of my term as mayor, I looked at what that season meant for me,
right? What
it meant for my family, where my family was at that time, the ages of my kids. So I can't say it was any one thing. I think we were all going through any self-evaluation following the pandemic.
Right.
And for me and for my family, the best decision was not to seek a second term as mayor. 4 years later, this is a different season in my life. It's a different season in the life of my family. And with that same commitment that I had going into the mayor's office, it's the same commitment I had leaving. I ran through the tape, very proud of all the things we were able to accomplish in our administration, from creating the Affordable Housing Trust Fund that is now seen citywide, to the record high raises we were able to give our public safety officials, to creating the child savings account, 7,000 affordable housing units. I mean, the list goes on. Yeah. So I left with my head held high with some really high approval ratings. I knew I was leaving on my terms. But I've entered this season with that same thoughtful prayer and consideration. Is this the right thing for me to do now?
Right.
And the answer is emphatically yes.
So when, you have a law degree. You could have joined any of these firms, been a partner, and just been sailing on and just took that check. Mm-hmm. I mean, Did people come to you after you got out of office, like, come over here to Alston Bird or come over here to such and such and work with us? Did you consider that after you left the White House?
I was very fortunate in that I had a lot of opportunities presented to me, and that I was able to be selective and thoughtful, and I don't take that for granted.
It's always good to be wanted.
It's always great to be wanted. I've had an opportunity over the last 4 years to do some creative things, about my project as executive producer of She the People that's up on Netflix now. I've done consulting. I still have my law degree. I always keep about 7 jobs.
Right.
I've been doing that since I've been working. So the opportunities have been plentiful, and it is, life is about options. That's what I always tell my kids, and that's what I've always believed. So it's been nice to be able to have choices, to be able to do things on my terms, and not feel some of the pressures that people often feel when they have to do things out of necessity and not necessarily because it's what they want to do.
Yeah. So you're going to be the people's candidate, not the black candidate?
I want to be the candidate that gets 50% plus one in the state of Georgia. That's what you need to win. And that's going to take white people, black people, brown people, purple people, green people. It's going to take all the people.
Right.
It's going to take Democrats. It's going to take some independent voters, those who
some
sometimes
undecided people.
It's going to take some undecided people. It's going to take it all. And I'm going to work to earn people's vote. I'm not going to take for granted that just because I was the mayor of Atlanta. I mean, that was great, but, elections are about the future. Great pass. I'm happy to run on all the things that I did as mayor, but people want to know, what does this mean for me?
Right.
For my future, and that's what I'm going to work to earn people's vote.
Well, we appreciate the time, and, of course, we're looking forward to having a kickball game in the front yard of the governor's mansion, because every time I drive by, I'm like, man, I sure would like to play some kickball over there. I like to do a stroll. Like to have, the Noose would like to stroll in the front. I'm just saying.
It's like,
I'm just saying, Keisha, if you get in there, let the Noose do a little stroll in the front yard. What we going to do?
Well, you can come stroll in my house at Southwest Atlanta. That's what I'm going to commit to. But meanwhile, I just ask y'all to follow me and to sign up to volunteer. And please donate. KeishaForGovernor.com.
There you go. Thanks for coming.
Thank you.
It's magic.